With the Duggars raising 19 kids, there were bound to be ups and downs, but according to the kids, there were a lot more downs. Jim's way or the highway. Because the Duggars believe in an extreme version of Christian patriarchy, the entire family submits to Jim Bob and follows his orders. According to a source at People, Jim Bob runs his gigantic family like a dictatorship. Jim Bob's favorite word is no. They say no one ever confronts Jim Bob. Jill was quoted saying that her relationship with her father Jim Bob Duggar got pretty toxic after she and her husband, Derick Dillard, began making family decisions that Jim Bob didn't agree with. She said he became controlling, fearful, and reactionary. It's just a facade. If you grew up in the Duggar family, you better be good at acting because Jim Bob and Michelle like to make sure their family looks perfect on the outside. Their eldest son, Josh Duggar, was recently sentenced to over 12 years in prison. But before he was sentenced, Jim Bob tried to uphold his family's reputation about Josh and downplayed his behavior.
He was just curious about girls.
The Duggars did several TV interviews in the past where they brushed off the scandal and tried to make it look like the whole thing wasn't a big deal. Blanket training. If you were raised in the Duggar household, you were more than likely blanket trained. It is a method that has been encouraged in the fundamentalist Christian community. The method advises parents to begin obedience training by putting their baby on a blanket and setting a toy just out of reach. When the child reaches for it or moves off the blanket, the parent calmly says no and physically corrects them. Eventually, the child learns to stay put. Michelle refers to it as a loving correction, and some of her daughters still use the method on their own children to this day. The buddy system. Why hire a team of nannies when you have a gaggle of kids that can help you for free? If you were one of the oldest Duggars, specifically a female Duggar, you better be ready to babysit. Michelle and Jim Bob lived by what they call their buddy system. Simply put, the older kids in the family who still live at home are in charge of taking care of a couple of the other younger kids. For the family, they believe this is beneficial in teaching the older kids responsibility. But for those older girls, once they get married off, they're expected to continue taking care of babies without a break. In the end, the young women never get a chance to have a normal childhood. Don't get sad. If you lived in the Duggar household, hopefully you never got sad or suffered from depression. Many fans think Jill might be depressed with her marriage to Derick Dillard. Even if Jill was suffering from depression, there's nothing she can do about it. The Duggars, including her husband Derick, don't believe in treating it. If you are depressed because of something you have done, the best response is to fall on your face before God and cry out to Him for mercy, he wrote in a lengthy blog post. The daughters had it harder. If you were a Duggar girl, you had a laundry list of things you were not allowed to do implemented by none other than Jim Bob. From not being allowed to wear pants, to not using birth control, to not front-facing hugs. I'm sorry, but how else do you hug someone?
A hug would be when two people wrap their arms around each other and give each other a hug from the side.
Anyways, if you were a boy, you had it easy. Only some of the rules applied to the Duggar men as well when it comes to their relationships, like no intimacy before marriage. Oh, the girls also had to have chaperones on dates, and the chaperones were usually their older brothers. A very regimented schedule. Their day begins at 8 a.m. with personal hygiene, breakfast, family devotion, and a quick clean of the house. At 11:30, one of their older girls prepares lunch. They get a break at noon. Everyone helps clean up, and the babies go down for their naps at 1:30. The older kids study from 2 to 4, but don't worry. 1 hour of free time is scheduled from 4 to 5. Dinner is at 5, and everyone helps clean up after, as well as another quick clean of the house. Snack is at 8 p.m. and Bible time is at 9 p.m. Bedtime is 10 p.m. Phew. Texts must include Michelle or Jim Bob. It's not just the physical dates that require chaperones. Any form of contact between a new couple, including texting, is supervised by the Duggar parents. Jim Bob and Michelle explained this to Today when they were describing Ben Sewell dating their daughter Jessa. Ben and Jessa's relationship was long distance for a time, so they wanted to text to stay in touch. Well, Jim Bob and Michelle joined in and made a family thread of it. It's neat to see their conversations, Jim Bob said of the experience. I can't see a teenage girl enjoying any bit of that. One-on-one time. With 19 kids running around, it's easy to wonder if each child got quality time with their parents. Though Jim Bob and Michelle's 19 kids kept them busy, Jessa assured her followers that they still had time to focus on each child individually. Michelle has said to give each child one-on-one time, she would take one with me each time she ran an errand. During the time, she is able to ask how they are doing, what they're thinking, feeling, and so on. The family also admits to enjoying a lot of outdoor activities together as family. Interesting homeschool curriculum. The Duggars teach their children through the system created by the Advanced Training Institute, a part of the Institute in Basic Life Studies ministry. All core subjects, from history to linguistics to math, are based on biblical passages and moral lessons, and some of those moral lessons are controversial. The IBLS made headlines when its leader was accused of questionable behavior and abuse. The curriculum is largely considered to be designed around reinforcing patriarchal standards and teaching young women that their bodies are not their own. Did any of these surprise you, or did you expect it to be like that? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to The Things Reality for all the latest reality TV news and gossip.